This episode of The Startup Life is brought to you by People Ready. Startup Nation, you have a lot on your plate. The last thing you need to stress about is finding quality staff or the available work you need to be successful. Save time and headache by working with a trusted staffing partner that meets your everyday needs. People Ready is a national staffing provider with over 600 locations across the country and 30 plus years of experience serving people just like you. They specialize in a variety of industries including retail, manufacturing, logistics, general cleaning, hospitality, construction, and more. People Ready understands that you're busy and on the go. That's where their mobile app, JobStack, comes in. Use the app to place orders or find work 24/7 or wherever you are. And as social distancing continues to change the way we interact with customers, colleagues, and our everyday lives, JobStack provides the ability to find the right temporary workers or work you need while eliminating the amount of physical touch points needed in the staffing process. Visit peopleready.com/startup life to learn more about how you can partner with People Ready. Hey Startup Nation, before we get to today's main content, I want to bring in a really good friend of mine to kind of talk about some stuff. As entrepreneurs, look, stress comes with the job title. Stress comes with, what we do and trying to build our business and stuff like that. But even just the personal day-to-day stuff, just living life. We have aches and pains and things of that nature. But my good friend Victoria Medina has a very interesting business and product that can help us out with that. Victoria, how are you today, ma'am?
I'm doing so great, Dominic. Thank you so much for having me here. I am absolutely thrilled.
Absolutely. So if you would just kind of share with us a little bit about, your background, but also your company and the products that you have.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so I know you are such a busy man, so I just want to tell you thank you again for having me here. I know you spend your days with really important CEOs, and so it makes me feel very special to be here.
Well, you're just as important as they are.
Thank you. And also, thank you to the audience. I really appreciate, anybody who will listen. I appreciate the power of voice through these podcasts. I think it's really powerful. I really just wanted to take a moment and just review how I got involved with the hemp industry.
Sure.
So basically, I had a 75-hour labor that ended in an emergency C-section, and it took about a year to recover from. And so I was in graduate school at that time while, my son was about 2 years old. And at that time was when I discovered that I actually had developed fibromyalgia. And I was really considering taking prescription drugs. So that for me was just a no-go. And I was really actively looking for something else. And in doing so, I found hemp, hemp extract. And I started taking it, and I felt a really powerful change. Now, it took me about 6 weeks to feel that. So it took me much longer than other people, but I started feeling that relief, and I just felt a sense of gratitude for having another option. And so I spent about a year just taking the product, knowing that I was an affiliate, but being a researcher, I wanted to find out more about hemp in general.
Right.
So when I got involved with this company, it was still not deregulated. So it was a little scary to be involved because there was some federal issues, at that time. So it's been cool to be with this company. This company is only about 4 years old, and I've been with the company now for over 2 years.
Right.
And I've gone, through all the legislation stuff with them, and it's been absolutely fascinating. It's kind of like prohibition all over again, and
Right.
being an active member of really just seeing that firsthand has been amazing, really.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. And so you were talking about, taking the hemp extract and stuff like that. Kind of share with Startup Nation, when they have those aches and pains and stuff like that, how it can help.
So basically, a good amount of the ailments that we experience are due to inflammation. Now, we can have inflammation both in the brain and in the body. In the body, it will come out as arthritis, or like, for example, with me, I have a lot of inflammation with fibromyalgia. There, just about any ailment will have some kind of associated inflammation. Now, inflammation is the body's way of saying, we need addressing here. We need to be looked at. And in the mind, it can actually show up. Now, in the mind, we've been taught to believe that oftentimes it's a chemical imbalance, but in reality, it is more so inflammation. Not always. And I'm not a doctor. I want to just disclose that. I'm not a doctor. But inflammation can lead to other degenerative kind of ailments, such as like dementia and Alzheimer's. PTSD is basically a breakdown of the neurotransmitters in the mind. So basically, what we do is we can feed our endocannabinoid system, and that system feeds all of the following systems. So the skeletal, the muscular, it feeds all of the body systems, including our nervous system. So what this product does then is it helps bring homeostasis back into the body. And then it reduces that inflammation. And when you reduce that inflammation, then you start noticing, and it's different for everybody, but you start noticing little changes. And, for me, it was like I was starting with fibromyalgia. A lot of people who have fibromyalgia will understand this, but honestly, sometimes your body is in so much pain that it will just wake you up because you've been laying down for too long. So it just wakes you up about 3 hours into your sleep, and you have to wake back up, and you don't get into that REM cycle.
Gotcha.
And then that has an aging effect, and it's just cyclical.
Gotcha.
So what I found was like my sleeping patterns were being stitched together slowly. So I was going from 3 hours of sleep a night to 4. And it just kind of grew, and now I can make it through the night oftentimes.
Victoria, I was looking in my show prep and stuff like that, and there was like an NFL study with some of the products that you do. Kind of share with us a little bit about that.
Yes, I am so glad you asked. This has been remarkable. So basically, what happened is our chief medical advisor is Dr. Ruan, and he owns the second largest alternative health facility in the nation, right? And he had been working with, so he has his own facility, and he'd been working with a couple of different patients anyways, and he has some NFL patients. And he had decided to do a brain mapping study on a number of different NFL athletes. And it was really remarkable because with the brain mapping, we were actually able to see that the neurotransmitters in the brain start to reach out back towards each other after a third of a second. So I don't know any NFL athletes. I don't know any pro athletes at all.
Gotcha.
But I didn't realize the amount of pain that those kinds of hits induce. I had no idea. And their testimony at we had our regional conference this weekend, and their testimony was just so touching. Like, they had suffered post-traumatic stress because the brain had been shook so hard from these hits that they're literally just in terrible shape. And it was really fascinating to see them, not only the studies, right, where it shows the effectiveness and the time that it took for that to it's really no time at all. And so through that, it was really interesting, though, because we were able to interview them this weekend, and they provided their testimonies, and it was so touching because you could hear that it is a life change for them. And I found that really powerful.
Absolutely. Yeah. And NFL players and, athletes in general, but definitely NFL players now, those high contact sports like that, they definitely have all the, a lot of aches and pains, and that don't always show up on the injury report. So I thought that's very interesting that you shared that. Thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely. Thank you for asking. I don't know a lot about sports. And so here I am, a person with fibromyalgia, and I'm experiencing benefit. But there's this other person who has a life totally unlike mine. And yet they're seeing benefit. And it's really powerful. It's really incredible to me.
Right. Thank you for sharing. Right. Thank you for sharing that. And it's funny you mention that because you talk about, cannabinoid, and when we hear cannabinoid, CBD, hemp, and stuff like that, there's a lot of stigma out there. Even though it's actually legal to use, the stuff that you sell is legal to use in the United States, Mexico, and Japan. Just kind of talk about, why that stigma is out there, and how do you normally address it with people?
That is such a good question. There is so much stigma around this. Even, to the point, I have a Facebook page where I share a lot of information, and people will not ask me questions on my actual page because they don't want to be seen as associated with it, but they will message me with their questions, and I encourage that,
Right.
But it's just interesting to see that there's that kind of a taboo response to it. Now, our product is THC free, and so if you have to do urinalysis or anything like that, you don't have to worry about that because it is THC free. But the leaf, the plant itself, has gotten a really bad rap. And we were really taught this since we were young. We've been taught that the plant itself is bad for your brain. And, this is your brain on drugs. And we associate that plant as simply being a hallucinogenic. Now, in fact, what it is a phytonutrient. It is one of the best things that you can take and provide to your body because it does bring homeostasis. So what we were taught is correct. There is a way in which it could be maybe bad for children and things of that sort, right? It could be misused, right?
Exactly.
But this is a totally different use altogether. And in this way, it is unlimited, just benefit to the body.
Gotcha. Thank you for sharing that. So kind of share with us a little bit about the company Prime My Body.
So Prime My Body is a fairly young company. It's about 5 years old. I've been with it for over 2 years now, and I have seen how it's grown over the years. I honestly moved a little slow with it because I was worried about the federal regulations, and banking was really an issue with it as well. Like, we were deregulated, but we couldn't actually utilize certain banks. And it was just crazy, But the way in which Prime My Body represented themselves was so classy, so elegant. Our CEO, Paul Rogers, was featured as one of the hemp heroes of the year, right next to Tommy Chong in Cannabis and Tech magazine. But really, when you meet him and when you talk to him, he always acts with such integrity in everything that he does.
I hear that.
Specifically considering the formulations. Like, if there's a misprint on the label or anything of that sort, they'll come to us right away, and let us know so that we can arm ourselves, to approach that conversation. And I just like the training. I like the way that it's expanding across the globe. Currently, we're fully legal in the U.S. and Mexico and Japan. And for me, that makes such limitless opportunity. I can build teams all over the world. And when I first started, we were barely legal in the U.S. We're becoming legal in the U.S. And now we're legal all over the U.S., all over Mexico, and all over Japan. In the months to come, we'll be approaching select areas of Africa. And we'll continue to just go across the globe. But what's really cool about that is it's not about marking territory. It's really about bringing something to people that is really going to benefit their lives, whether it's just in taking the product or actually picking this up as a business. It's like there's not a losing side. It's truly built around benefit for everyone involved. And I love that.
I hear that. Thank you for sharing that. And you talk about this industry that's growing. And in Startup Nation, you may not know this or not, but it's been said that this is a $23 billion industry by the time of 2025. And Victoria, you always encourage people to kind of, get, on board with this industry and kind of partner with you and stuff like that. Kind of talk about that a little bit.
Absolutely. I mean, thank you so much for bringing that up. Sometimes I'm timid to talk about the business. I've never done MLM in my life.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so when I started, I felt myself a little bit timid. I wanted to try the product and make sure that it worked for me personally.
Of course.
And then from there, I wanted to meet the CEO. I wanted to talk with the co-founder. I wanted to make sure that what I was backing was really something I could support. And now in understanding the power of our formulations and the power of this business opportunity, I am just realizing that I'm doing well. I am a leader in an industry that is growing crazy right now. And I've basically just been growing slowly because I haven't needed to be the provider for my family. My husband's always been the breadwinner for our family.
Gotcha.
So it was like my side gig, And with COVID, it's been really cool to just be able to be like, babe, I think I got this. I think we're okay. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's so cool because when I developed my disability, never not once did he say, oh, I'm feeling emotional, excuse me.
No, it's all good.
But never not once did he say, you need to start working, Never. He always was there and was like, baby, I got you. Don't worry about it. We're going to figure it out. And so it was really cool.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. My apologies. Go ahead.
No, I'm glad you did. No. I was just happy to be able to return that favor, to him.
Of course.
And he's an affiliate as well. And now, he always put it on the back burner. Everybody puts it on the back burner, not really seeing the full potential. It's crazy.
Right.
Yes.
It's funny.
So,
Go ahead.
Please, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, it's funny you mention that because it just speaks to how, even on a path of entrepreneurship, if you put some time into something, you can definitely reap the rewards.
Right. And that's the thing is, honestly, I just got into this company so early that it's all I have to do is be consistent with what I've been doing. And I can choose to hit it really hard right now, or I can choose to do what I've been doing. And either way, honestly, I'd be happy. The thing with this now, though, is that I am realizing that other people need jobs. Other people don't have education. It's competitive, out there, just in general. So if you don't have a bachelor's and you have a record or you have, if you don't have X, Y, Z, you're in really a hard place. And with this, there's so much opportunity. It's just up to you to decide, this is what I'm going to do. Time block your schedule and say, this is my game plan, right? Now, we're not taught that. Yes, we're not taught to be entrepreneurs. We're taught to just go into work and do what we're told. But this is a whole nother ballgame,
For sure.
And so it's been really interesting to learn how to time block, learn how to not do sales calls sometimes and whatever. But honestly, I feel like if I do just continue to plug away the way I've been, I'm going to be successful. And right now, like I said, it was the side gig.
Absolutely.
But I'm seeing that I can help communities that I love. Now, in particular, I'm realizing that really I'm one of the very few Chicanas in the industry.
Right.
And I've been networking in this industry for over 2 years now. Pretty much, I know a lot of people, so I want to open the door a little bit. You know what I mean? I had a friend.
You want to be a trailblazer.
Well, kind of. I mean, I guess I hadn't thought about it, I guess, until recently. And a friend, okay. Let me give credit to my friend. Give credit where credit is due.
Sure.
So I recently spoke at a global summit, and I put up the advertisement on one of my social media pages, and a friend of mine had said, golly gee, no colored people are presenting, there are no people of color on the advertisement.
Right.
And I was like, well, me,
right.
Like, instead of giving me props, I was hoping maybe I'd get some props, but I took that like personally, right? But when you think about it, it's like, no, that's right. He's right. I do need to do better. I need to step up and make sure that there are fair opportunities across the board. We always step into the shoes of being helpless, right? And in that moment, I knew that I could voice my opinion. And honestly, 4 more speakers were added to the summit for that reason. I mean, because they were remarkable, but taking that into consideration as well, So, just for me in this industry, it made me think, I need to do this in where I'm at right now in life. And so I was so grateful that my friend had brought this to my attention, because I want to be a leader, right? And sometimes being a leader is, doing things that have not yet been done. And it's like you said, being a trailblazer. Absolutely. But I don't think anybody says I'm a trailblazer,
There you go. Absolutely. It's funny. I was actually going to ask that question, but you beat me to it. But I appreciate you sharing that, because I think that's a very important part of your story up until this point and moving forward. So, definitely, wanted to hear that part of the story. Victoria, as we're starting to wrap up here a little bit, just kind of share with everybody, how they can get, in touch with you, how they can be affiliated with you, all your social media pages and stuff like that.
Okay, great. Well, first of all, I would invite anybody to just reach out to me via email. You can find me at iambigvicm@gmail.com. So it's letter I, letter M, BIGVICM @gmail.com. So there's no A's other than in Gmail. So iambigvic@gmail.com. And you can find me at I Am Big Vic on Facebook, or I Am Big Vic on Instagram. If you have any hemp questions, go to my pages, check them out. You might find answers just there cruising my pages, or you can also just send me an email directly. You can post a question on my board, whatever suits you best, but definitely always feel free to email me. I do have a free 5-day sample of our high-quality hemp extracts. So anybody who is interested in that opportunity, please send me an email and just put that exactly in the subject line, interested in free 5-day sample. And also, if you want to join the company, I would absolutely invite you to reach out to me via email. I would happy to talk with you about whether we'd be a good fit, and if I can really benefit you, if we can benefit one another. I like to know about what people want to do in their lives and help them attain that.
Absolutely.
And right now, we can actually, I almost forgot about this, but right now, we can enroll new affiliates until the end of the month for $1. So that's pretty remarkable. Usually the fee is $39, and that pays you for the year. We pay that every year. If you just want to be a VIP customer and purchase product at wholesale cost instead of retail cost, then you'll want to ask about the VIP customer program. I don't know why anybody doesn't do it. It's a great way to go. It saves you a lot of money. And also, Dominic, I don't know if we have an opportunity, but I'd love to do a free raffle for a Nox skincare. It's our anti-aging face serum. And I'd be happy to send out a sample to a lucky listener, not viewer, but listener.
Gotcha.
we could figure that out maybe.
Yeah, we can definitely try to figure that out for sure. I'll get with you and try to see what we can do there. But, I want to say thank you so much for coming on the Startup Life and sharing the amazing opportunity. And Startup Nation, once again, all those links and email addresses are there in the show notes for easy access. If you're listening to the replay on the podcast, make sure you get in contact with Victoria, not only to kind of try her product, but also if you're looking for entrepreneurial activity, opportunity, she definitely has one that you want to think about. Like I said, it's a $23 billion industry by some estimates in 2025, and so that's only 5 years away from now. So make sure you can get in while the getting is good. Once again, we wanted to thank Victoria Medina of Prime My Body. Thank you so much, man, for coming on the show.
Thank you so much, Dominic. I really appreciate your time. Thank you all for everybody who's listening in.
If you want to let us know what you think about our show, have an idea for a show topic, or would like to advertise on our show, send us a message on the Startup Life Podcast Facebook page. And while you are there, like and follow our page as well. It's a great way for us to engage with you, Startup Nation, and really grow our community. The link is there in the show notes. Subscribe to the show as it can be heard on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, Spotify, or even on your Facebook timeline or any other platform you like to get your podcast. If you are listening on Apple Podcasts and you find our content valuable, please give us a 5-star rating, as it will help us climb the charts and help more people find our show. You can also listen to the show on the Startup Life Podcast new website. There you will find the all-new startup blog where I write on many topics that are interesting and helpful to you on your path to entrepreneurship. And hey, if you have an idea, be about that life, the Startup Life. This episode of the Startup Life is brought to you by People Ready. Startup Nation, you have a lot on your plate. The last thing you need to stress about is finding quality staff or the available work you need to be successful. Save time and headache by working with a trusted staffing partner that meets your everyday needs. People Ready is a national staffing provider with over 600 locations across the country and 30 plus years of experience serving people just like you. They specialize in a variety of industries, including retail, manufacturing, logistics, general cleaning, hospitality, construction, and more. People Ready understands that you're busy and on the go. That's where their mobile app, JobStack, comes in. Use the app to place orders or find work 24/7 or wherever you are. And as social distancing continues to change the way we interact with customers, colleagues, and our everyday lives, JobStack provides the ability to find the right temporary workers or work you need while eliminating the amount of physical touch points needed in the staffing process. Visit peopleready.com/startup life to learn more about how you can partner with People Ready.